Once you've loaded onto the new ServiceDesk landing page, you'll see a couple options here. On the first left hand is where you'll submit an incident and a request. At the time of recording this video, we are just doing IT, but in the future, we are planning to also incorporate any website requests for change or updates. More information will come out with that sooner. That's where this under construction tab goes, as well as we have the knowledge base here. On the left-hand side, you'll be able to also see that you can hit requests, which will open up all your requests that you've ever submitted, as well as solutions, which will also go into our knowledge base. Down here, you'll see a summary of your current requests. So pending are ones that us in the IT department have not picked up yet. Ones that are listed on hold are we picked them up and they could be waiting in for many reasons, either with us or waiting for more information back from you or waiting on more information from maybe a third-party vendor. Completed are ones obviously that we've actually successfully resolved. Announcements will be where in the later date time we'll actually include announcements of potential outages or updates or upgrades, as well as send emails, but they will be listed in here. Under my assets, you'll see every asset that is assigned to you. So for my test user, we can see that this person has one monitor and it's a virtual machine, which I'm on right now, which is a desktop. Up in the top bar here, we can see where it has search, announcements, solutions, requests. This will actually, if we're searching anything, we'll bring up this window and it'll search everything that we have. So I'm just going to search a webcam. I have an incident, as you can see, that was a webcam just by the incidents. But we'll go back and we will actually put in maybe incident. So you'll see any knowledge base articles that have the word incident or have tagging to it, as well any templates to submit requests uh, on there. So I can automatically click one of these and it'll open it up so I can submit a ticket underneath that. Or again, any requests that were categorized with incident. So we'll close out of this, and that's an overview of the landing page. The first one we're going to take a look at is the knowledge base. While we're inside the knowledge base, we're also going to take a look at two knowledge articles that were written on how to use the request guide as well as an incident guide. So once we click on knowledge base, as you can see, we're brought into our knowledge base. We only have a couple right now, but this will continue to grow over time. When you do, it'll right away first go at the very top level and show all of these. This will eventually get quite longer, but on the left-hand side, you can actually navigate into specific areas. The solution ID is just automated ID that the system does give it, and the title that we have. The topic that it falls under, how many views, when the article was created, and who did create it. It also comes with likes and dislikes. These do get reset every time we do make a change on there. But these are a couple of things, unfortunately, we just can't change. They just come with the system. So when it comes to the knowledge base, we're going to take first on the quick reference guide to request. So we're going to click on it. It will expand slightly and we just click on more here. Inside this knowledge base, we will be able to see too here that this one is designed to follow what a service request would be, following the ITIL best practices. And ITIL is actually a ServiceDesk industry standard that many of the largest companies do follow as a foundation around service desks. So when it comes to logging a service request, these usually are typically something that needs to be pre-approved. Purchasing something, it doesn't disrupt your daily tasks. As well, you might need potentially reports or help with something. Those would all constitute a request. So some of these examples that we have here are software installation, new hardware setup, furniture requests, access permissions to maybe a folder. Also, a new user setup is also included here, but new users is only going to be visible for supervisors and managers because those requests do need to come from them. When it comes to the priority levels, we did take a look around this, giving you an idea of how long it might take us to actually respond when we get the ticket, and then what we are targeting for the resolution time. When it comes to the target, it is a target because there are many factors that do come into resolution. If we have to order something, we need to work with other parties, or there are other critical issues that need to be attended to first. So we categorize these into a priority of either low, medium, high, and urgent. So on a low, we'll try to respond to your request within 3 business days, and we'll try and have it resolved within 15. Again, these ones are routine hardware requests. It could also be a request that you would like a knowledge document added in here, which we would love to continue to grow this. Medium, we'll try and respond within 2 business days and have it resolved within 7. These could be specific reports that might need to be drawn out of many of our systems or help creating of a report. Uh, High are something that we will try and get to within the 1 business day and try and have it resolved within the 5. So these could be software installations or updates um, and changes to potentially look up tables in some of our systems like IMIS. Urgent, we'll try and respond within the 4-hour window. We'll try and have it resolved within 2. These are usually critical requests that have an impact to the department or organization that really, even though it is still constitutes a request and is not an incident, we will try to get to it at a sooner date. Uh, just so everybody's aware on how we actually take a look at this. So the very first one is the workflow of a request. You as the person putting in the request would put in the information that is required. Please put as much detail as possible to help us. Set the priority that you believe it is. And then when it comes to the resolution, we'll determine the next steps as well as the requests and work with all of the users departments that we need to do to resolve this one. When it comes to closing the ticket, we'll update the ticket as with the resolution. And if it is new hardware, we'll update the asset database to and assign it as accordingly. So we're going to go back now to all topics in the same sense. Now I would like to go into the incident. Incident's a little more in depth. It's also more common and has a few different things. Again, this is following best practices of ITELs. So the definition of an incident really is an unplanned interruption to an IT service or reduction in its quality. And the incident can directly impact a user, group, department, or businesses to perform daily tasks. Right? So examples of these potentially could be unable to log into the email account, issues with the printer, cannot print, errors when logging into IMIS. And a very common one and severe one is a network outage. So here we have 2 different types of levels when we're going to be creating our tickets. We have the impact level, and we're going to have the priority level. So the very first one we'll go through is the impact level. Impact levels come in 4 as well. We have ones that affect just the individual user. We have ones that affect multiple users. We have ones that affect the department or group of people, or we have an incident that'll affect business as an entirety. So if it's something that affects users, an example of this could be something with your monitor needs to be adjusted or is not working properly. Something that could potentially be affecting multiple people is issues per se with the printing of a report specific to an individual um, or logging into IMS for certain users. And the next one potentially is the department or group. These ones could be trackers unavailable for a department or maybe got deleted that need help on. And then if it affects the entire business, which is a significant one, it halts the working of the entire organization. These are usually like an internet outage or a system-wide outage that has there. So when it comes to the priority, and we keep them the same, we have the low, medium, and high and urgent. So with incidents, a low, we'll try and respond within 1 business day, and we want to try and have those resolved within 5 business days. So these are usually minor issues potentially with an application that's not affecting critical tasks, um, but it does affect your work that needs to be addressed. A medium will try and respond within 4 days and have it resolved within 3. This could be affecting either a single user or multiple users in the operation, but not affecting the entire department or user as a whole. Um, a good example of this would be, uh, again, maybe tracker need to, it's not working uh, so much because there are trackers that are shared between a few people, or it's just an individual for different things. Um, Next one is a high, where we'll try and respond within 2 hours and have it resolved in 1 day. This is a department or group level incident that causes significant disruption. Example of this would be potentially the renewals portal not being accessible. Registration heavily uses it, no other department uses it, but it also has a significant interruption or disruption to the department during renewals. And then urgent, we'll try and respond within 30 minutes and have it resolved within 4 hours. So these again are critical business-wide outages such as internet failures, maybe beaches down, and it's impacting everybody. So when it comes to the workflow of an incident, again, first step is you guys log in the incident. Please provide as much detail as you can when you work through these. The next would be assigning the impact based on what is above, and then also setting and calculating the priority that you've deemed. When it comes to resolving this, we'll address the issue and work with all the parties required to resolve it in the time, try and resolve within the target time that we have stated. When it's after it's closed, we will document what we did to resolve it and create any additional knowledge documents. Some will, as you can see here, are published that will help staff. Others are also going to be just created and put in the back end for IT, just to help us quickly resolve if something happens again. When it comes to setting the priority impact, we worked on a table to help you do that. So if it affects a single user, your priorities on these should either only be a low or a medium. Same when it comes to multiple users, these would be a low and a medium. When it goes and affects a department or a group, these would be categorized with a priority of either a medium or high. And if it affects the entire business, these could be high or urgent. Mostly when it affects the entire business, it is going to be urgent. When it, there are very minimal cases that it will be high. But again, try and do your best. We'll work on also updating these to fall into this grid if someone has unfortunately made a mistake. But we'll also then click on the side here and show this. So software, once it grows, it will slowly build them out. And that is the knowledge base, and as well as the kind of an overview of the quick incidents and requests guide. And we'll go back to the landing page. Now we're going to head over to submit an incident and a request. So on our landing page, we're just going to click on submit an incident, which is going to pop up our new service requests. So on the left-hand side, we can see incidents and requests. Each one will have templates that can be used depending on what we need to submit. First, we're going to start off with requests. I'm going to click on requests. So there's a couple in here that you may see that only staff and supervisors will have access to. So one would be accessing a request for someone else's directory or new staff members. These can only be requested by supervisors or managers. Everybody else will see the furniture, general IT, hardware, or software requests. Each one will go through quickly, is slightly different than the other. But if I pick a template, they're all kind of the same and flow the same way. But if I pick the wrong one, I can go back up and switch template. So we'll start with the furniture request. If I click on furniture request, we can see here we can request what our priority is following the matrix as well. Then select what furniture we have and the location we would like to put it. And then if we don't see what we are requesting, we can select other here and it'll pop up a box for additional information. Again, create a good subject line and detailed information with your request and any supporting attachments here. So we'll switch back. Now we'll go into the general IT request. So if it doesn't fall into any of those categories, again, we can set our priority, which this time I will do. This time I'm going to actually show you how the knowledge base as it continues grows will help out. So need to know how to set SGOI. So you'll see as I start building it out, the knowledge base starts popping up and we'll see set default to SGOI UI in Outlook. So this is kind of what I was looking on. So I just go over my suggestions. I click on the box, it'll pop it up. Here we can click more, which will go through, or we can expand it out, which will then take it to the full page. And we can scroll down here and complete it. If this is what we wanted, we just quickly submit. Yes, it resolved my issue. It'll close out the ticket, take you back to the Lounge page. If you say no, continue request. Say no, it'll take you back here because need for Word. And then how do I set all my Word documents? Oops. Default for branded font. Once I'm done, I'm just going to hit add request and it'll go through. Once you're submitting an incident or a request, you'll see this screen pop up. You can go view what you just submitted, create another one right away, or hit close. Once we hit close, it'll take us back here and we'll see this summary go up. We'll look at that later, but for right now, we'll go back in here and we'll go back to our requests. So we also have hardware requests, and you can set your priority once it loads and any of the additional hardware that you may need. I'll go back. New staff members, and then software, very similar to all the other ones. Now, if we go take a look at the incident, as we went through the document, it's a little more in depth on this. So we're just going to start off with an application or software incident. Again, you'll see here, if for some reason a person is unable to submit a request for themselves, they can get another one to submit on their behalf just by clicking here and I'll look it up. It'll be available soon. You'll see very first thing that you'll be asked is what's the impact. So we'll select the impact. We'll just use multiple users. Again, depending on it is, might ask for additional information, and we're going to set our priority following our matrix, and we're going to set it as medium. And we will actually go in here and just select something. Select WebEx, and then I can either type the name of people that's affecting or the department or group of people. So we'll say myself, Clint, Carol, and Boozer, and WebEx is freezing on us. So quick reference pop up. If we don't want to see this, we can just collapse it. Go back down here. We're going to add our description. Just going to take a screenshot, show you. Using a lot of my snipping tools, you can come in here, paste images directly into the ticket, or if I had other things, I can attach it by clicking the attach button right here on the right-hand side, and it'll bring up the browser window. We'll just go into downloads and attach. Don't. This is my test account, so I really don't have much. So attach. See. Okay. Files attached, and well, again, submit the ticket. We'll hit close. We'll go back into our incidents here. Hardware is very similar in the same fashion. You'll see where you set your impact and priority, the hardware that might be affected. So if it is a docking station, we'll just go webcam. Most of our hardware will be tagged. So you'll be able to bring up your hardware through the asset list and assign it right here. Again, create a subject and detail of it, and then submit. And that is the overview on how to create a submit an incident request. Next, we're going to go down and we're going to take a look at the following buttons on the page, which is my summary and my assets. So following on with submitting an incident and a request, we're going to look at it through my assets here. So on the right hand side here, you'll actually see the button where it says report an issue. As mentioned, all our assets will be tagged and assigned to the individuals. So in this example, if I say I'm having issues with my monitor, all I need to do is click on report an issue. I'm going to report an incident for assigned asset. And this is going to bring up the form that's very familiar where we have our impact and priority. So we select it. We have already set it as an individual because it's specific to your hardware. So you select your priority. You'll see that the affected hardware is already listed inside the asset that is issued. So again, trying to speed up the process. But all you would need to do then is create your subject on what the issue is and a good description and detailed information on what's happening and submit it, and away we go. So once we have that, it would come back. So we'll go back here and we're going to take a look at our summary. So summary is where tickets lie. So when they're sitting in pending, these are ones that the IT desk has not had a chance to open up and put into a progress following the response times. Ones that are on hold are ones we're working on. Either we're waiting on us, potentially the person who submitted, or the vendor to help, or someone else. And completed are the ones that are completed. So you'll always have access to the ones you have. So in the event you have one that's in pending, we'll just say that this I figured out. I'm just going to expand it here. We're going to open up the view details. We'll take a look here. So in the details, you can see your ticket, blue meaning email, but at any time you can go into action, add a note and say, let's just do this. I figured it out. Save it. It'll be in the notes here. It'll notify us when we see it as well. Anything that we put in here will also show up in here. So on here, you can see the details of your request. If it is resolved, it'll show the resolution once it's in there, as well the history as it's moving through. So this one's just been submitted. It hasn't gone anywhere else. We'll say that this has now, you figured it out like I did. I'm just going to go up here. I want to cancel this request. Found solution myself, update it, and that'll now put it into a cancellation. When I go back here to my requests, you'll see that it's been canceled with the red mark. It's still in the open status because Clint and I will still have to go in and actually put it into a closed status, but that would be there, as well as you always have access to all your previous incidents. We're going to go back to the home. We're going to take a look at the hold ones. So again, open it up. We're going to expand it. So there's a couple ways you can, when you get your ticket that you submitted, these emails, you can actually respond through the email. It'll keep the track and add it to the conversation as well. Or you can go to the service deck, open up your ticket as mentioned. You can add a note, or you can actually go here to the right hand side again, hit reply, and I'll bring up the editor and you can submit what you want and away you go and add to the conversation. So it'll keep everything in sync with us. And this is a brief overview of our ticketing system. If you have any questions at any time or need additional help or have suggestions, please feel free to reach out to Clint and myself. Thank you.